Welcome to episode 10 of the Tailgate Sports Podcast. We're going to go over our NFL Week 7 takeaways, then go into our NFL Week 8 picks, and talk a little bit about the NBA season. Kicking off, go right to the takeaways. We'll start off with the Thursday night game. That was boring. We'll start off with the Vikings game. The Vikings lose in a close game to the Lions, and the Lions are looking like they are the team to beat in the NFC right now. The Vikings being able to keep it this close and how well they performed in this game showed to me that they are real contenders. This team is legit and is going to be fighting with the Lions the whole time. But the Lions just have looked so complete on defense. You know, the pass rushing definitely took a big hit with Aiden Hutchinson going out. I believe they're probably going to go out and make a trade to fill that spot in, but their secondary has been great. Their offense has been unbelievable. Montgomery went down, but they're saying it's not going to be any long-term things, if any time missed. This team looks super well-rounded. They play hard football. They play the football everybody likes to see. They're exciting. The Vikings, the Lions last year, they had time to really develop themselves and work themselves in, and this year they're making a big step. But the Vikings, this is their step. This is their first step. Sam Darnold has performed and exceeded all expectations for the year so far, and the defense has been lights out. And they just kept it in a close game, I think a field goal game with the consensus number one in the NFC right now. I do see Detroit and the Vikings staying close in this division. This division is stacked. I still think the Vikings might get this one. The defensive woes with the pass rushing gets me a little worried about the Detroit Lions. I know they're going to continue to be a number one team in the NFC. I can't wait to see how this division rolls out and who comes out on top. The Jags win in London. They lost the first game in London, came back this weekend, and won this one. I think that saved Doug Peterson's job for now. But Drake May actually looked really well in his second start of the NFL season, and this is something, as a Bills fan, I am not excited to see. We saw Tom Brady run the Bills for years and years and years, and we thought we would have at least a extended period of time where they didn't have anyone under center, and now they have Drake May, who has looked great. And on Sunday, he had 276 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 70% completion. He was really to move in and out of the pocket. He has great field vision. He looked great all in all, and I know the Jags defense is nothing special, but he definitely looked good, and I'm not excited to see him progress in the AFC East. Although Mac Jones came in and had a great first year and then fell off a bit, but I do think that the Patriots are really trying to develop Drake May more than they did with Mac Jones. Deshaun Watson tore his Achilles, and people were cheering as it happened. You know, I'm not going to cheer on anybody's injuries, but to be honest, this is probably the best thing that could have happened for this organization. They felt like they needed to keep rocking with Deshaun, even though he's been horrible, but his contract is unbelievable. But with him going out now they have to figure something out at quarterback, and who knows if he'll come back, and if he does, if he'll come back the same. Jameis Winston's probably going to step in, but they need to figure out a long-term solution. This team has had its up and downs, and they have a great defense. They just got rid of Amari Cooper, so their offense took a step back, but they could still build a great offense, but they need a quarterback because Deshaun Watson might not play again after that injury, and if he does, who knows if, I mean, he was terrible, so I can't say if he'll be the same. He was terrible regardless, so this is probably the best thing that could have happened for this organization. The 49ers are riddled with injuries right now. Ayuk going out for this season is horrible for them. And I know that Debo is a great wide receiver, but he's not really that one who could carry the team. He's the gadget guy. He could do a lot of great things, don't get me wrong. But they need the X and O's guy. They need that guy who can go long, who could go on a great route, and they don't have that guy anymore with Ayuk going out. I think they should probably go out and trade for someone. They just made Cooper Kupp available. I doubt they'll trade him with the 49ers being in the same division. DeAndre Hopkins, there's been names floated around. I think they need to make a move on that. The defense has had struggles this year, and the offense can't take that big of a step back for them to keep winning games. The offense has been unbelievable this season, and they need to keep that up for them to keep winning games. If this defense is going to keep playing how they have been, I do expect them to take a jump and get better on defense, but the offense, this is still a big blow. CMC's still out. Ricky Pearsall's coming back, so that should be good, but they need another number one guy, or maybe not a number one guy, but they need another guy in here, and I do think they should make a move for someone. Jets season's over. They lose to the Steelers after trading for Devontae Adams, and people were talking about the connection that Aaron Rodgers and him had and how this team was, again, a Super Bowl contender, and we saw on Sunday that's just not true. This team is the same old, same old. They make moves, make you think that, okay, this team is really something, and then they just disappoint you over and over and over again. I feel bad for Jets fans. I really don't, because I'm a Bills fan, but it is unfortunate to see. Russell Wilson, on the other hand, Mike Tomlin, people were telling him, don't put in Russell Wilson, and he stuck with his gut, went in, and Russell Wilson had the best passing game that the Steelers have had yet this season, even with Justin Fields having a great season thus far and winning games. They have not had a passing game like this. Russell Wilson having 264 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. At the beginning of the game, he definitely had his struggles, but once he started to get into the swing of things, he looked great back there. They're saying they're going to have him start another week, go into the bye, and ultimately decide. And I think if they want to win, if they want to exceed their expectations, which is going to the playoffs and losing in the first round every year, if they want to exceed that, their best option would be Russell Wilson. Justin Fields is still young. He could learn. He could still develop in this system and maybe next year take over, or if something happens. But Russell Wilson gives this team the best chance to make an actual push at winning and have a winning record and maybe get out of the first round. Russell Wilson, I think, is light years ahead of Justin Fields in passing, and he has the experience. He's won a Super Bowl, so I just think that he would be better off right now. I'm not saying overall I think Justin Fields long-term is the better option, of course, but if you, like, the Steelers fans are not happy with being a first-round exit every single year. Yes, they have a winning record every single year, but they're sick of that being it, and Russell Wilson will give them the best opportunity to succeed farther, and he's on a cheap deal, and if this is something that works out, make another deal, and he could really progress Justin Fields. I know Justin Fields hasn't played bad, but he has yet to have any of these passing games where we're like, okay, this guy, quarterback, he's quarterback one. This is our franchise guy. So I just think Russell Wilson for this season is probably the better fit. The Bills trading for Amari Cooper looks like it was a great move. This offense looked phenomenal on Sunday, and it really spread out the field now and opened more guys up. Keon Coleman having a phenomenal game, over 100 receiving yards. This is great for the Bills. They finally have that guy who could be the guy and really take some attention off guys who could go out, run a great route, and really get those balls, get those consistent catches. I think he went 4 for 4 or 5 for 5 or something like that. Very efficient, and it just opens up the field a lot more. The passing game will open the running game opens the passing game. This offense is looking like a well-oiled machine now, and the defense, when they get Von Miller back, and they still been performing at a great level, but once they get Von Miller back, a couple of these pieces back, this is an elite defense, and this is a real contender once again. I know people were doubting them coming into the season, and I think they have made the adjustments, made the moves possible to actually win a championship. So this team, I do think, is a real contender and will be at the top of the AFC. I know that the Ravens and the Chiefs and everybody will put them ahead of them, but I think they're up there with those guys with Amari Cooper being added. The Buccaneers season is over. Unfortunately, they have been dealing with crazy injuries. Chris Godwin going out for the season with his ankle, and Mike Evans going to be out till week 12 at the least with his hamstring. And no, Baker Mayfield doesn't have anybody. This team has been amazing on offense, and the defense has not been good, so this offense is really propelling this team. And now Baker Mayfield doesn't have any guys really to throw it to. But if Baker somehow, some way figures it out and keeps performing at the level he has been without these two guys, I think it definitely shoots him into an MVP conversation. Super unfortunate for the Bucs, though. I think they did have championship aspirations, but now with these two guys going out, it is going to be extremely hard, especially with the defense and now the offense taking a huge step back. It's really unfortunate, especially since I had Chris Godwin on my fantasy team. This is pretty much a wrap for my fantasy team as well. Very unfortunate. I never want to see injuries like this happen. It looked terrible, and Godwin was having a amazing year, and this could honestly be the last time we see him as a Buck. He's going into a free agent year. This is definitely something you don't want to see as a Bucks fan. Baker Mayfield was having a lights out season, and this is just sad to see. I really thought this Bucks team was something real, and with this offense, it's going to take a step back, and if it does, there's just no way this team could keep up with those aspirations. Lamar Jackson, on the other hand, had a great game, and he's having another MVP-like season. He has been taking this team and basically putting them on his back. He's having a better season than his MVP season, honestly, right now, and at least another MVP-esque season. Lamar Jackson, 67% completion percentage, 1,500 passing yards, 10 passing touchdowns, only 2 interceptions, 400 rushing yards, 4 rushing touchdowns. He has been amazing, and he is doing this with really no great wide receivers. Zay Flowers is good, but he is incorporating new guys and involving the team, everybody on this team, week in and week out, elevating them, and really, he is this whole entire offense. Without him, this offense is nothing. The wide receivers and the tight ends, and no one really is the clear number one and clear cut alpha and elite guy on this team, and he is still making them look like a Super Bowl team. Lamar Jackson gets his hate, and I'm not even the biggest Lamar Jackson fan, but for what he has been doing, you have to respect it. This guy has been lights out, and he is going to continue to be in an MVP race all season. Those are all our takeaways for this week. We're going to go right over into our picks. Yeah, a sip of water. All right. Whoops. NFL Week 8 picks. Starting off with the Vikings and Rams. The Rams are getting Cooper Kupp back, but I think that the Vikings are going to bounce back and take care of this one. Packers and Jags. I'm going to go with the Packers. They've looked phenomenal. Cardinals and Dolphins. Tua's supposed to come back, so I think I'm going to take the Dolphins here. Jets and Patriots division matchup. The Jets really need this one. I'm going with the Jets. Ravens and Browns. The Ravens have looked unbelievable. Give me the Ravens. Eagles and Bengals. The Bengals have been on a tear. They need this. Give me the Bengals. Colts and Texans. The Texans have gotten some ugly wins, but they're winning, and I think they're going to continue to win. Give me the Texans. Titans and Lions. The Lions have looked like the best team. Give me the Lions. Falcons and Buccaneers. The Buccaneers took a huge hit with some injuries, and they don't have anybody to throw to. Give me the Falcons. Saints and Chargers. I'm going to go with the Chargers here. Bills and Seahawks. The Bills bringing Amari Cooper looks great. This offense looks great. The defense looks great. Give me the Bills here. Bears and Commanders. I'm not sure if Jaden Daniels is playing yet, but I'm going to go with the Commanders if Jaden Daniels is playing. Chiefs and Raiders division matchup, but give me the Chiefs. Panthers and Broncos. The Broncos have been playing pretty well. I'm going to go with the Broncos. Cowboys and 49ers. The 49ers have had their struggles as well as the Cowboys. I'm going to go with the 49ers here. Giants and Steelers. I'm going to go with Russell Wilson getting another W. Give me the Steelers. Those are all our Week 8 picks. NBA kicked off today. I'm ecstatic. Finally, we get to watch some NBA and basketball. Right now, we got two games tonight, opening night. We got the Knicks and Celtics, and so far the Celtics, it's halftime right now, and the Celtics are up 74-55. The Celtics proving that they're still the best team in the East, but the Knicks, they're going to get it together. This is a new squad, new guys to implement into the offense. I think the defense is going to be fine, but this offense is going to take some time to adjust with Cat coming in. The NFC, or not the NFC, the East is going to be a hard fight this year. I know it's very top heavy. The bottom half are not good, but the top half of the NFC East is going to be very close. I do think the Celtics are probably going to be on top again. They're the most well-rounded. They won the championship last year. They have an edge on their shoulder after the Olympic situation, so I do have the Celtics still being on top, but I think the Knicks are up there. I think the Bucks are up there. The 76ers for sure, if they could stay healthy. I'm excited to see how the East pans out, as well as the West is going to be really close as well. One of my dark horse contenders, one of my teams, and not even dark horse, one of my teams in the West who I think really could win this year is the Pelicans. I think that Zion coming in, if he's healthy, we seen what he did last year with this team. He makes them real contenders, and what he did in the play-in, his first really postseason run and getting a little taste of it, and he looked phenomenal, proving he could carry this team and he could play championship basketball. But that's a big if with his health, and in the offseason, we've seen he's lost a lot of weight. He's been really training, and he's taking it serious this year. He's sick of all the injuries. He's really trying to win this year, and I think the Pelicans have the roster to do so. Bring in DeJounte Murray, especially letting him play point guard. This team is a big threat to the West, and I think that they have a real chance of winning. On the East, I feel like I have to give it another contender, I think, a little dark horse, but I think the Magic last year also got a little taste of it, and offensively they got better with KCP coming in. They shown that they could drive to the basket. They need another guy to be able to kick out to. The defense has been great. I think this Magic team is going to take a big step, and Paolo's going to take a big step. I think this team is a little sneaky team. We're going to talk more about the NBA as the season goes along, and I think I'm going to do a little something on the Twitter. If you go to my Twitter, the Tailgate_sports, I think every single Friday we're going to do a first basket scorer Friday. I'm going to give you guys a first basket scorer. You can throw money on it if you want. We're going to see what the score is at the end of the season, but I'm excited for this NBA season. I think that pretty much wraps up the episode. Thank you for tuning in. Tune in next week for episode 11.